Hello and welcome to Learn English Road. Today, we have a very special story for you. This is the story of a man named Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo lived a long time ago in Italy. He was a painter, he was a scientist, he was an inventor. He was curious about everything in the world. This story is in simple English. It is perfect for A1 and A2 learners. Listen carefully, read along if you can, and enjoy the story. Part 1. A Little Boy in Italy. A long time ago, in the year 1452, a baby boy was born in Italy. His name was Leonardo. He was born in a small village called Vinci. The village was in a beautiful part of Italy called Tuscany. There were green hills. There were olive trees. There were flowers everywhere. Leonardo's mother was a young woman named Caterina. Leonardo's father was a man named Ser Piero, but they were not married. So Leonardo did not have a normal family home. When he was very small, he lived with his mother. Then he moved to his father's house. Then he went to live with his grandparents and his uncle. His uncle's name was Francesco. Uncle Francesco was a very kind man. He loved nature. He loved the countryside. Every day, he took young Leonardo for walks in the hills. They walked through the fields. They looked at flowers. They watched birds flying in the sky. They sat by the river and watched the water moving. Leonardo always asked questions. Why does the water move like that? Why do birds fly but people cannot? Why does the light look different in the morning and in the evening? Uncle Francesco always answered. He never said, "Stop asking questions." He always said, "That is a good question. Let us look and see." This was very important for Leonardo. He learned that asking questions was good. He learned that looking carefully at the world was very important. These lessons stayed with Leonardo for all of his life. At home, Leonardo always drew pictures. He drew flowers. He drew birds. He drew faces. His drawings were beautiful. Everyone could see that Leonardo had a special gift. Part 2. Going to the big city. When Leonardo was about 14 years old, his father took him to Florence. Florence was a big and beautiful city. It was full of art and ideas. Many great artists lived and worked there. Ser Piero took Leonardo to a workshop. The workshop belonged to a famous artist named Andrea del Verrocchio. Verrocchio was one of the best artists in all of Florence. Ser Piero showed Verrocchio some of Leonardo's drawings. Verrocchio looked at the drawings for a long time. Then he said, "This boy can come and work with me." Leonardo moved into the workshop. He watched the older artists every day. He watched how they mixed colors. He watched how they held their brushes. He watched how they painted very carefully. Then he practiced. Every single day, he practiced. Leonardo was a very fast learner. In 1 year, he was better than almost everyone in the workshop. One day, Verrocchio was painting a big picture. He asked Leonardo to paint one small angel in the corner. Leonardo painted the angel. When Verrocchio saw it, he stopped and stared. The angel was extraordinary. It looked real. It looked alive. The face was full of feeling. People say that after that day, Verrocchio put down his paintbrush and said, "I will not paint anymore. My student is better than me." Even as a very young man, Leonardo was already one of the greatest painters in the world. Part 3. The Notebooks. Leonardo was not only a painter, he was also a scientist, an inventor, and a musician. But one of the most important things Leonardo did was write in his notebooks. Over his whole life, Leonardo filled more than 7,000 pages of notebooks. 7,000 pages. That is a lot of writing. He wrote about almost everything. He drew pictures of the human body. He went to hospitals at night. He looked at dead bodies carefully. He cut them open to see what was inside. He drew pictures of muscles, bones, and the heart. His drawings of the human body are still used in medicine today. He also wrote about water. Leonardo watched rivers for hours. He drew picture after picture of water moving, around rocks, in circles, in waves. He wrote about birds, too. He watched how they moved their wings, and then he had a big question. Can a person fly? He believed the answer was yes. He drew designs for flying machines. One machine had big wings, like a bird. The pilot would lie in the middle and move the wings up and down. Leonardo never built his flying machine. The materials he needed did not exist in his time. But his design was correct. Scientists confirmed this many centuries later. He also drew designs for a tank, for a submarine, for a solar energy system, for a robot. All of these things exist today. None of them existed in Leonardo's time. He invented them in his mind and drew them in his notebooks for the future. Leonardo also wrote his notes in a very interesting way. He wrote from right to left, backwards. You could only read it in a mirror. Nobody knows exactly why, but it shows us something important. Leonardo always saw the world in a different way from everyone else. Part 4. The most famous paintings. Leonardo painted many pictures in his life, but two of his paintings are the most famous in the entire world. The first is called The Last Supper. In the year 1495, a powerful man named Ludovico Sforza asked Leonardo to paint a big picture on a wall. The picture should show the Last Supper, the last meal that Jesus had with his 12 friends before he died. Many artists had painted this scene before, but their paintings were quiet and calm. Leonardo had a different idea. He painted the exact moment when Jesus said to his friends, "One of you will betray me." This was a shocking thing to say. Leonardo showed the reaction of every person at the table. Every face tells a different story. One person is afraid. One person is angry. One person cannot believe it. The painting is full of emotion. It looks like a real moment in time. The Last Supper is still on the wall of that church in Milan today. People travel from all over the world to see it. The second famous painting is the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa shows a woman. She is sitting down. She is looking at you. On her face, there is a very small, mysterious smile. Leonardo started painting the Mona Lisa around the year 1503. He worked on it for more than 10 years. He carried it with him everywhere he went. He always wanted to improve it a little more. Why is the Mona Lisa so special? When you look at it from different angles, her smile seems to change. It looks different from the left and from the right. Leonardo used a special technique. He painted thin, soft layers of color. The edges of her face are not sharp. They are soft, like smoke. He called this technique sfumato. In Italian, sfumato means like smoke. The Mona Lisa is now in a museum in Paris called the Louvre. Every year, about 9 million people go to see it. It is the most visited painting in the world. Part 5. Hard Times. Leonardo's life was not always easy. He had many problems. One big problem was that Leonardo started many projects, but did not always finish them. His mind was always moving very fast. He would start one thing, and then he would see something interesting somewhere else, and he would go and explore that instead. The ruler of Milan asked Leonardo to make a very big sculpture of a horse. It was going to be the biggest horse sculpture in the world, made of bronze. Leonardo was very excited. He studied horses for years. He drew hundreds of pictures. He made a full-size model out of clay. It was enormous. People came from all over Italy to see it. But then a war started. The bronze was taken away and used to make cannons. The horse was never built. And then enemy soldiers used Leonardo's clay model as a target for their arrows. They destroyed it. Leonardo lost years of work in one day. Another time, Leonardo accepted a job to paint a big battle scene on a wall in Florence. He tried a new painting technique, but the new technique did not work. The paint started to drip down the wall. The painting was ruined before it was finished. But here is the important thing. Leonardo did not give up. When something went wrong, he opened his notebook. He wrote down what happened. He wrote down what he learned. For Leonardo, a mistake was not a failure. A mistake was a lesson. This is one of the most important things we can learn from his life. Part 6. Moving around and final years. Leonardo did not stay in one place. He lived in Florence, Milan, Venice, and Rome. He went where the interesting work was. He went where he could learn new things. In Milan, he worked for 18 years. He was not just a painter. He designed buildings, water systems, weapons, and machines. He was a creative problem solver for everything. In Rome, he studied the human eye, light, plants, and rocks. But life was difficult there. Other artists were jealous. They did not want him to succeed. Then, when Leonardo was 64 years old, something wonderful happened. The young king of France, King Francis I, sent him a message. He said, "Please come to France. Come and live near my palace. I will give you a beautiful house and complete freedom." Leonardo accepted. He packed his belongings, took his notebooks, and crossed the mountains into France. The king gave Leonardo a beautiful house called the Château du Clos Luce. It was warm, full of light, and very close to the royal palace. By this time, Leonardo could not paint as well as before. His right hand was not working well, but he could still think, draw, and fill his notebooks with new ideas. The king visited Leonardo often. They talked for hours about art, science, and life. King Francis said later that Leonardo was the greatest man he had ever met. On the 2nd of May, 1519, Leonardo da Vinci died quietly at his home in France. He was 67 years old. According to an old story, King Francis was holding Leonardo's hand when he died, and the king was crying. Part 7. What Leonardo left behind. Leonardo da Vinci did not have children. He did not have a big house or a lot of money. But he left behind something much more important. he left behind his paintings. The Last Supper is still on a wall in Milan. The Mona Lisa is in Paris. 9 million people go to see it every year. He left behind his notebooks. Scientists and artists still study them today. Every few years, someone finds a new idea in the pages, something Leonardo understood centuries before anyone else. He left behind his ideas. His designs for flying machines, submarines, and solar energy are still studied by engineers today. But most importantly, Leonardo left behind an example. He showed the world what happens when a person is truly, deeply curious. He showed the world that art and science are not enemies, they are friends. They both try to understand the same world. He showed the world that it is okay to fail, as long as you learn and keep going. And that is the story of Leonardo da Vinci. A boy from a small village in Italy, a boy who asked questions, a boy who looked carefully at the world, a man who never stopped learning. We hope this story helped you practice your English today. If you enjoyed it, please like this video and subscribe to Learn English Road. We have many more stories coming for you. Stay curious, keep learning, and we will see you in the next video.